2 days ago, we went for a walk. Finally, I was able to join you with Buchta, our dog.
How did you know I want Tavel?
I can see. I can hear your thoughts.
Is
Because
it so funny that I want
No,
Tavel?
I'm in flow. I'm connected to you. We are one right now when I speak.
We're always one.
Let's do this. Welcome to yet another episode of the most listened, most admired, transformational health, wellness, mindset, truth, authenticity, love, freedom, acceptance, life podcast on planet Earth and all the other planets. What is life? With Martina, and we'll say it, Tomash. He infiltrated himself in a way that nobody expected. And it was the best infiltration out of all the infiltrations in the world. We had a break.
True.
For like a month, through which I would say this huge contraction period dismantled everything that was there to dismantle, so that everything can fall back to place, and so that we can sit in the middle of the road in a bankrupted city close to Nha Trang in Vietnam. And I'm so happy we are here. I can't believe, because in the last 2 weeks everything happened in a way so that wouldn't be able to happen. I had motorbike accident. I got sick. I got my period. I fell down the slippery stairs in a rainy town, Dalat. But we are here, recovered, fresh, sweaty as fuck, but we're doing it. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm having a little bit different feeling after the last couple of weeks, because I didn't have this many accidents and things happening for me as for you, but I'm grateful that we are here. I think for me this is like so far the best place in Vietnam in 5 months that we visited, and
True.
I really like it here because it's really peaceful. And yeah, and we said that in this episode we're gonna try to do it a little bit differently. Where
but
you're
let's
gonna
see.
be, yeah, let's see.
Let's
But
explore.
let's start with you saying about what you were going through and what happened, and what big breakthroughs or big learnings or understandings or aha moments or like whatever you feel like sharing you had.
So you're taking the role of the interviewer,
Yes.
and I'm the interviewee.
Yes.
And you're okay with it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I just wish you guys saw how beautiful view we have. We are looking at the mountain. It's just the sun is casting the shadows of the beautiful trees on this road, and the birds are just flying with all the bugs and butterflies. Oh, how much I love nature. It's a really amazing place. If it was like 7 or like 5 degrees less, I wouldn't, mind. But to answer your question and to start with what happened in the last weeks, I want to explain something about me so that it makes sense. My energy, and all of us have different type of energy pattern that it follows our bodies. And for me, in human design as a manifestor, I have cycles of expansion, creativity. I have energy for 17 people at once. Within span of 3 weeks in May, I created this podcast, the community. People came there. Suddenly I get paid for it. and you guys are listening to this podcast, and all of these huge steps and creations are being just created by me without any effort. It's like such a beautiful month of expansion that I experience every few months, that I honestly love it. It's almost like I see myself as a supernatural human in those times. It's crazy. I can do anything. There's no fear. There's no doubt. There's no limited thinking. I just go. I feel completely inhabiting my awareness and the true self that I am, and I have space between me and my body, between me and my mind and my brain's thoughts, and I can easily like Neo in Matrix, no bullets. And then, just like everything in nature, exhale, inhale, tides, low tide, high tide, day and night, day and night, I said already. Dark and light, death and life. Everything is in cycles and in rhythm. Not linear though. Not linear. It's not. I never know how long this will take ever. So that's kind of shit. But at some point, I start to feel, when I'm in this high, I feel my energy go down, and that's when I'm like, oh fuck, the rest cycle is knocking at the door. Interestingly enough, the last expansion period that I experienced in May until middle of the June was very long, and I created a lot, and it was really, really amazing. And I kind of made peace finally that the contraction period will come, but it was not coming. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm just gonna be forever this high. Well, I wasn't. And it started with a bike accident, and it followed with
fall accident.
It followed actually with my pain in lower back, but it's in kidneys. It followed with the pain of my kidneys, and then we decided to move to Dalat. It was a very interesting thing because we kind of procrastinated on it for a very long time, and we were between like, should we go by the plane? But our dog doesn't know how to wear muzzle, and that's a requirement, so let's not go at all, let's stay here. And we were just so in this limbo, not able to make decision. After all, we decided, fuck it, we're gonna go, we're gonna take the car ride, it's okay, 10 hours is nothing compared to the 16 that we took from Ho Chi Minh City to Da Nang in April or March. And we went, and then we arrived to Dalat, which was a place of many lessons and disappointments. And this is where all of this started to come up for me. I started to contract, and my mind started to be really loud, and my body reflected it because I was resisting it. It's just constant battle in this contraction period. I still haven't mastered it. I haven't been able to fully, like you tell me, jump the bungee jumping and allow and trust and surrender. That's the recipe for easeful and graceful contraction period. But Martina likes to do things the hard way, or the past Martina, and she's unlearning that it's not necessary to suffer to grow and to get through life. And so again, all these patterns came up, and what's very interesting is that every single contraction period, it's the one where I'm really low on energy, and even it reflects in our relationship, because obviously everything, our life is our mirror of our internal state. So I project all of this on you, and you do a really amazing job to stay in love and hold tight and wait it out.
Sometimes.
And you love me through it all, which is really huge support. And every time I get out of this contraction period, I have huge breakthroughs, Because you have to understand in an energetic way, if you squeeze something and then you release it, what I believe, it kind of gets this new power. It's almost as if when you're birthing a child, the uterus contracts and expands, contracts and expands, contracts and expands, and the baby is born. It's almost like that every single time I have this. That's what I see it. New version of Martina is being out of this world's vagina or whatever, life's womb. And I've been gifted with really high awareness of how things are. And so I observe everything that's happening. Whether I can do something about it and kind of like make healthy choices, supportive choices of love and truth and awareness rather than ego, that's another chapter and story. But in this particular contraction period, really amazing things transpired for me. And one of them was actually our relationship. That's always like one is inside of me, and then as a reflection, it's in our relationship. So this time it was about my inner critic. And it's really interesting to me because I thought like, this is like the basic, but for some reason I needed to get through all these layers of myself, where I reached the moment where the only next battle or evolution level is to be able to observe my thoughts, the critical, rejecting, resistant, negative, abusive, belittling, you don't know that word.
Basically ego.
Ego. Oh, my only job, this will be...
Yes, I'm sorry, but I need to move a little,
Oh, okay. So my only job is to observe this and not react. And as a bonus, if I'm able to, choose the fucking opposite. And Tomash has been really fucking helpful in this. Because I kind of like spoke to my inner critic. And I was like, listen, dude, thanks for protecting me and speaking to me this way my whole life. Telling me how I'm not good enough, how I do everything wrong, because you believe that's the way how to support me in growth. But this time and from now on, we're doing this differently. How about instead, every time you give me this thought, you actually stop, pause, and become my supporter? How about you will be there for me? You will support me to growth, not abuse me to growth, because I don't want to suffer anymore through these thoughts. And you helped me because for you this has been easy. You are from different background, different parents, different environment, different completely life setup. And I think all of us have different areas of our work, and for you this one is easier than for me. And so you told me what you do, what works for you. And you know what's funny, guys? All of you who's listening, is that this inner critic, that the part of me, all of us have different parts. This part of me, I realized I have been projecting on you. And I kind of impersonified this part as you. And I didn't know what I did never know what to do with it, but I was always aware that everything you tell me, there's a filter. Not everything, I don't want to generalize, but
yeah, when you
get it.
When you are not in love, when you are not in your best.
Yes, when I'm not at my best, then I let my head autopilot my life.
You start listening to your ego.
Yes. That's when my ego persuades me that you are against me. That everything you say is to correct me, is to punish me, is to blame me, and is to show me what a bitch I am and how I do everything wrong, how you can do it better. And it plays all of these games and it wins. Or it used to. And I told you this on our walk. We went for a walk and Tomash expressed to me how he wants to how he's ready to explore. What did you say? Explore this podcast and commit to it and do it as something
not as a hobby.
Not as a hobby, but something more purposeful, more intentional. Yeah, because it started like my vent system, but ended up as another baby of ours that we are here to raise, obviously. And so when he was telling me this, I wasn't still at my easeful, high energy, or at least normal energy, where I can operate well and healthy and have energy for these kind of things. So I shared with him how, yes, we can do it, but I shared with him all of my pains or things, blocks around it. And one of them, as I was speaking, and for me, speaking is the way I process everything in my inner world and everything that I learn as I go through life, I shared with him that actually I feel like I'm projecting on him these things and that I see him as my critic. And it's almost as if I projected this on him and I made him the villain of my story.
Which I told you like 100 times every year of our relationship, but you needed to realize it yourself, because it doesn't matter how many times I said it. It's important when you actually see it.
You know, remember, I told you, baby, if I can show you how I feel about you, is that when you tell me things and stuff like that, of course, it's my own perception, but I feel like you're just criticizing me and you are, in Slovak, it's hustiť. You just go and you tell me, you explain. And instead, what I need is just to hold me, for you to hold me. And you literally hugged me in that walk, on the street. And I felt that that was me asking for what I need. And I told you how I feel. I was honest, vulnerable, and I shared with you everything. And I think in that moment, I allowed all of this to transform. And honestly, since that moment, I have been more able to see you, even in the moments where normally in the past, I would see you as criticizing me and showing me how you're doing better everything than me and how I can do things better, how I'm not doing enough, all of that, which is just a filter and my mind's some kind of mechanism. I was able to always catch it since then. It's been 72 hours. Yeah, call me a winner. And I was able to be like, wait, what if he's actually being supportive right now? And I was able to see you that way. So he did nothing, as always. I mean, not as always, but you didn't have to do anything. Nothing in my external reality changed. But I changed. And that was one of the biggest breakthroughs of the last contraction period, which was the past, let's say, 5 weeks or 4. And I'm slowly coming out of it, and now it's all being integrated, and now I can talk about it. And I think that's also why this podcast is here, because I learned so much just in everyday life, and I just love to speak about it and kind of put it in one coherent, articulated way, not only for me, but maybe also for you and for you guys. And hopefully that has some purpose, which I don't really know about right now, but I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. Thank you so much for giving me space, babe.
Yeah, I think it's really beautiful example. Like you can observe in this story, I mean, I was observing in this story that you feel like that this all happened in last 3 weeks, but actually it took you at least 6 years. I don't know if you did something like this before, but like it took you at least 6 years or 5 to go through this. So you see how this was just like a peak of that evolution in your life, because like this is something that we've been dealing with since ever, right? Like I've been telling you since ever that you act like I'm the enemy and villain, and like I'm trying to only put you down, show you how fucking bitch you are, and all of this, which were your projections. And you know, so you can, so it's really beautiful that basically it doesn't matter how many times I say it or some other person says it to some third person, fourth person, that they do this or that, and that it's like this or like this, but you can't really help them. You can't really speed up the process. You
Before
can't
their
even
time.
postpone it.
Mm.
It's just gonna happen when it's gonna happen, and they're gonna get it on their own timeline. And your only job when you have somebody like this next to you, or if it's happening even to yourself, the only job you have is to give that person love, regardless if it's you or if it's somebody else, right? And then it happens when it happens. But it will not happen just because you tell them. They need to realize themselves, and they will not see it just because you show them, which is so funny. They will see when they will be ready to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's amazing to observe. Yeah, and there was one more thing I wanted to say, but I forgot what. But this
Maybe
is
you
this is
will
really
remember.
nice. Yeah, maybe.
And I want to thank you, baby, again
Yeah.
and again and again, for your patience, for your acceptance of me the way I am, for your love, unconditional love, whether my condition is high energy, breaking stuff because I can't contain my power and just like fucking breaking and, you know, going crazy, can't shut up, or if I'm in my bed being like, baby, I can't anymore. You're still there. I don't understand how a person like you could come to my life, but I guess I was ready because you teach me that I'm lovable no matter as I am, and that it's okay on the timeline that I go through it. And you teach me to accept myself the way I am because you model it to me, and your love and patience and your space holding for me and my evolution is what allows it to be even more joyful because we do it together. And then also there's your evolution, which we will speak about next episode.
But honestly, like, this is something that I told you, and thank you for saying that, but I feel like that this is something I was actually telling you yesterday or day before about this, and I feel like that there are certain things that are just simply programmed into us since we were born, or just like at that time, at that moment, to just be like this. Because for me, like, if I think about, like, for somebody to be maybe blamed and be seen as a villain, or all of those things that we were going through, people would not be able to be there, right? They would just leave.
Yeah.
But this is something that we just said, like, the other day, and I said, like, look, baby, like, if you think about it, like, you speak a lot about how we choose each other every day and how we stay together no matter what. But if you think about it, for us to stay together is the easiest thing in this entire relationship. Because yes, we have like moments when we don't really feel good about each other, but sometimes it takes 3 minutes, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes 3 days, but we always come back to each other and we start missing each other. And, you know, usually it's not more than like 2-3 hours, right? So, and it just comes from inside. You just like, even if you are mad at that person, like, suddenly after just very little time, you just literally feel like that you are missing them, and you just don't care about whatever happened before. You just want to be with them, right? I'm fine, thank you. So it's you know, so I understand that somebody has programmed something else then, and they just can't, you know, stay. They just have to leave, and I think that's the perfect thing for them to do. Like, it's not always an option to just stay, but for us to stay is basically the easiest thing, effortless.
It's the
thing.
Like a default mode for us.
It's like, no matter, and especially I feel like for you, because your mind has been telling you so many times how this is not really for you, and you should this or that, or like whatever it was telling you. But you see, like, in the end of the day, it was the easiest thing to do, to just be together, you know, and it was never like a hard decision that I have to make whether I'm going to do this or that, right? It always brings us here. And that's really powerful and amazing. And that's something that I believe that we have somehow like coded inside of us, or something like that.
Yeah, that's why we are not here to give you advice. We're not here to give you 1, 2, 3 steps to happy relationship.
Maybe we will one day, who knows? Because if somebody has the same thing as us, like, think about, like, if somebody has it same as us, that they maybe have challenging times, and they go through some
ebbs and flow
of
life.
Yeah, just like they argue, or they're like, whatever they go through.
meet resistance
Yeah, they
together.
feel angry at each other or annoyed or like frustrated or just
And
they
they
want them to
allow,
be different.
yeah,
They
they allow their
resist how they
mind
are. Yeah,
to play games.
yeah. So, but at the same time, they always come back because they love each other and it's
Yeah.
just coded inside of them. Then they are going through basically very similar or exactly the same thing than we are.
Yes, yes.
And then, maybe they can find these, interesting to listen because they will understand that they are not alone in it and that it's okay,
Yeah, that it's
to
okay.
go
It's
through
all
this
part
and
of the
go through this
process.
and also to
Mm-hmm.
stay and also to be together and all of that.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I want to say that this always coming together. It's like a coin with two different sides. Everything has nuances. And this particular pattern of coming back together no matter what, for us, it's effortless and it's based in love. It's based on our truth. And how do we know? Because it feels amazing. But then there might be couples who are coming together because they don't know anything else, and it can be this
yeah.
kind of, they call it trauma bond, which I don't want to get into. I'm not an expert in this, but it's, for example, when there are women who get like narcissistic men or abuse,
Yeah, but
and
we
they,
don't know about these things.
I know, but
Yeah,
I
so
guess they keep coming as well back because they don't know anything else, and that's not what we're talking about. I just want to
no
say this is pure,
love.
it's pure love. And it's interesting that when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend before you, which was like 8 months before we met, I've had many boyfriends, okay? And I thought all of them I loved them. And if they're listening to this, I think I did with the level of who I was
Understanding
and
of love.
understanding of love. And I think in general, what is life and what life and universe and God and all of this game is teaching us is more love. To know what true love, unconditional love is, this enjoyable, miraculous feeling of bliss, of gratitude, of awe, of childlike playfulness and presence. I think that's where we all are leading, are being led to through all of these evolutions, contractions, because we are slowly letting go of the layers and minds, limitations that are not allowing us to feel that. And I loved these people on the level I was able to. But when I broke up with Ahmed, with the last boyfriend when I was in Dubai, I literally remember, and I told you this story many times, but I want to say it here. I asked myself, what the fuck is love? And if I said I love you so many times, then why again it ended? Do I even know what love is? What is love? Because it cannot be something that starts and ends. I just knew it's not it. And I think this podcast is called What is Life? Because in 2018, I started asking, what the fuck, or 2017 or 16, what is life? What is this thing? I started to kind of awaken into questioning. And I was always questioning, always fucking annoying student at school, but this was deeper level. I didn't I was like, I started to see pattern of when I think something, it happens and everything I do works out. And what is this thing? And then before I met you in 2020, let's say, I asked what is love. And I think I fucking met you so that I understand it, because life always delivers. Life always shows you. If you ask a question, it gives you answer. Always. Maybe not in a way that you expect, not in a way that you wish it did, not in a straightforward way. But after some time, with your awareness rising and your level of consciousness being more expanded, you can look back and connect the fucking dots. And when I connect the fucking dots, I met you, and our relationship, our dynamics, our story really teaches me what love is. Not the one I knew, or maybe that one I got to know as much as I could, the conditional one, which I was raised with. If you're skinny, if you're pretty, if you do well at school, love you. But you teach me, if you're sick, if you gain 10 kilo, if you have pimples, if you yell at me, if you tell me I'm a fucking dick and shut the door, I love you.
Yeah, so I would like to circle back a little bit, and I would like to ask you about what you were saying in the beginning. You were saying that you had this realization, and now
I see you more as a support, not as
you
a
see me more
enemy.
as a support, not as an enemy. So you said that it was all 72 hours. So how was this time like? I know it's not that long, but can you say something about that?
Yes, new choice of perception on you was born.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just a practice. It's just choosing that new choice of hearing what you say with love rather than through filter of fear and anger and, you know, pressure and all of this which I always felt from you. And I think this was all made perfectly since we have business together. We're not just partners that decide what we're gonna eat and what movie we're gonna watch and where we go for vacation once in a year, but the decisions, the collaboration, the level of trust, the level of just delegation of tasks and everything we needed to do from the beginning made us put us in a level of connection and collaboration that many couples do not meet with, right? Normally you just have a partner at home and you decide about life, but we have to decide about every single fucking thing because we have business together. It pays our bills, like we create content, we have to make decisions on daily basis. So for
But also
us,
maybe many people who listen to us has it the same, you know?
maybe so then
Maybe
you
only
understand.
people who has the same will listen to us.
Maybe. So maybe then, if that's your case, you understand that it's just completely different level of involvement, and especially when you're in, when you pack your bags, leave everything, and go into the middle of nowhere in Vietnam, and you're together 24/7 for 6 years, and so therefore, it's just so much conversations that we have, and we talk so much. And imagine that until let's say 72 hours ago, everything almost, hey, let's say like majority of things you would tell me, I would resist because my mind would trick me, and the pattern of everyone's enemy or your enemy would tell me, again he's telling me I'm bad, again he's telling me that I was experiencing so much, I can't explain it, contraction, just pressure, just tension. So it's either tension or relaxation in body, how you would describe. And so I just want to finish that in last 72 hours. It's like this new seed started to grow above the ground level. And I see this little stonka, the little leaf coming out to the light, which I can choose whenever I feel again that what you tell me is negative and it's criticizing. I'm like, wait. And I pause it like, again, Neo, the bullets in Matrix. And I'm like, wait, I have a choice. And what choice? What am I choosing? And I'm choosing to see what if he was actually meaning that with love? What if he was telling me this to support me, to help me? What if? And therefore, if I ask that question, I receive an answer. And I suddenly have a choice. Okay, maybe he means this well. Maybe he loves me. After 6 years, maybe he loves me. And maybe he means it in a nice way. And this is what starts to happen. So suddenly my view on you opened up, and I have a new choice of seeing or receiving love.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you said that basically this was all projection on me.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, so basically the root of this was coming from your ego. And it was coming from a place where you would believe all of those things about yourself, right?
Yeah.
You would believe about yourself that you are bad and that you do things wrong,
Yes.
and that you need to be corrected and you need to be, and all of that shit, right?
Bulletproof belief.
Like you would believe that about you because your ego was telling you that, and you chose to believe that.
Yeah.
So would you say that maybe now you started to see that this is happening, and that you accepted that your ego is saying those things, but you chose no longer to believe that, because you understood that basically you are not your ego, and whatever the ego says is just blah, 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 but it's
Barking dog.
it's not really you, right?
Yeah.
So is that again,
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
would you say that this might be again the one of the, and that's the second thing, I guess, that I wanted to say, that this is another beautiful example of acceptance, which we always talk about and we always come to, because you had the resistance towards yourself, the
Yeah.
way you are,
Yeah.
because you were judging that this means this. So if I'm like this, I'm bad. If I'm like this, I'm not good. If I do this, that means
Yeah.
this, and so on. And you basically accepted that part of yourself, and you were like, okay, well, it's okay that my ego is saying all of those things, but
A red one is going
no,
to bite
it's
you.
okay, I don't care. And it's
It fucking hurts when it bites you.
yeah, see,
But
it's
whatever.
gone
Okay.
because it's a friend.
Okay.
It's,
An ant, a red ant. Anyways.
so is there anything else you would like to add to this topic? Because I feel like that there can be a little bit more if you want. If not,
I just
then
want to say that what we speak about here and what you just described, how my ego is telling me things, this started to be very like day and night, yin and yang, during those periods. Before it used to be all the time, and then it kind of started to clarify and clear. And now when I'm in my expansion period, it's like the easiest thing. I feel like I transcended all the lessons, and it's so easy for me to choose love, to choose my true self, to choose awareness, not ego, not mine, not to listen to it. But in contraction, dude, oh my god, it's so hard. But it's almost like two people would live in me. And I'm sure if I would, now some psychiatrist is listening, he would probably say, oh, that's bipolar. Or they would,
or maybe they would not.
they would,
know,
oh, okay, maybe there's always possibility someone would diagnose this as something. But to me, I understand, and it's just part of my process, my evolution. And
I think everybody's going through this. It's not just you.
Let us know, guys. Do you have this kind of periods of time where you can see that it's almost like heartbeat of heart going up and down, but you know you're evolving up at the spiral staircase and you're going up, but you always meet this bump and then you go up and then you just like go one step back, 3 steps forward. Because this is a process that I haven't known.
I believe that this is just basic human evolution that everybody goes through. That's not something you can not go through.
Okay,
like,
but everybody has different process. It can look differently. They can have it more stabilized. You have it more stabilized than me. And to answer your question, yes, it is absolutely, if we would distill it into a very core, it is the journey from resistance to acceptance. And every contraction period I enter, I chip off part of me that no longer can belong and can come with me to my next level of evolution and awareness. And I think that's what life is. And that's why this podcast exists, because maybe through these conversations we are able together discover as a couple what life is. And it's very beautiful that we have the space to speak about it.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening. If you're listening until here and you are on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go to YouTube and comment if this is something you meet with as well. And we would love to have conversations with you guys about your reflection on this, or if something resonated, or if there was some kind of aha moment or light bulb moment. And this was really nice. I felt really, really easeful and flowful when you were asking me, and I got the space to speak, because in the past episodes it was kind of a battle of egos about who gets the space, and kind of it was a lot of resistance. Here I didn't feel any resistance.
I think it was a battle.
Okay.
But okay, I just wanted to say about what you were saying. You now see the results of it, and you feel like that now you came out of it.
Yeah.
But it didn't actually happen in just past month. It
No.
took, like, this specific thing is something that took you years. But then you have things that you go through just in a month, and you have things that takes you decades to go through, right? And it's like very various kind of things that you go through in various periods, and but I believe that how you said that you are a new person after every cycle, I believe that you are a new person after every experience you have. After every day, after every fight, after every conversation, after
every emotion you feel through.
Yes, anything that you and this is how you evolve. And
Yeah.
then there is a time when you suddenly realize, wow, it's gone, and that's, or something changed, or like whatever it is. And but that didn't change that moment. It took you all that time before. Every time you experience that, all the time it took you to come here and to come to the point where you feel like that you are finally free of it. This is something that I might be talking about in the next podcast.
So this, what you just described, is called the snowball effect, let's say, is when you can imagine in a birthday party, Mexican kids, right? They have this candy ball. It's made of paper, and then each kid goes and hits it with a baseball, and then first one doesn't get it, second one doesn't get it, third one doesn't break it, and then on the seventh kid comes and it opens and breaks, and they all get candies. Is it because the seventh kid was the strongest? No, it was because the power accumulated. Each single moment or each single kid collaborated in this whole result. And this is I don't know the English, guys, but you know what I mean. It's accumulative power and effect that the evolution gets.
It's like when you are creating a sculpture, right? Mm-hmm. Every time you just cut out a little piece of wood or ice or whatever you are making it from, and you cut a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more with every conversation that is about the topic, or cut out a little bit and a little bit until eliminate it a little bit until the final sculpture was finished.
Fun part is never finished because it's all just a process in every lifetime. But yes,
it can be finished. Certain things can be finished, I believe.
I mean, you're as evolved as the most evolved and the least evolved in every single moment. It just depends on your perspective, how you look at it. And I thank you because
I think you are always the most evolved ever. I think every time you are the best version of you. Yeah, but you said that you are also the least evolved.
Yeah, because tomorrow you'll be more.
But tomorrow it doesn't exist.
And with that, dear listeners, we'll see you in the next episode.
Okay.
And this podcast, of course, is sponsored by Magnetic Couples Bracelets. And I think by now you get the sense of what these whole bracelets represent. They each have, there are 2 bracelets. I have one, Tomash has one. Each of them has half of the magnet, and they connect in one and represent the love and the connection that is underlying and what is foundation for the relationship that you are in, that we are in, that is our spiritual curriculum, and that allows us to evolve and grow together as a couple that always comes back, just like these magnets, always gravitates towards each other and knows that love underneath all of this messy, chaotic life is what always puts them back together. And that's life worth living and relationship worth relationshiping. So thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
We'll see you.
What is life? Baby, don't nature. Don't nature. Oh, I have to dance now. Love you. Bye.